Oh, it's another day here at the Comeback Team Studios. This is a very important episode of the Interesting Times podcast. We've all heard about the aftermath of Hurricane Helene as we have a massive hurricane, the biggest probably in Florida state history, heading towards the Tampa area. While all of that's going on, we've all been made well aware of how horrible the response has been from agencies like FEMA, the federal government, private citizens from around the country rushing down there to help our fellow Americans, leaving their lives on hold. And I have one of those Americans. I have a friend of mine who I've been in the trenches with here in New York City during the shutdown, standing up for freedom, standing up for our constitutional rights. He's packed a massive truck with all the supplies that he could get to go down to North Carolina. He grabbed his son, and I'm very happy to bring him on the air live to give us a live update on what's going on in North Carolina at the moment. I have my friend Mighty Fuzz, who also has his own podcast, and you should follow him. Mighty, I've seen you over the last week trying to raise funds, supplies, and you have now made it to North Carolina. Where in North Carolina are you, and what is the situation there that you can gather?
What's going on, Bek? And I just, real quick, just a correction. This was we, the people of New York City, doing this. We, the people, have been collecting all week. Matter of fact, not even all week. It was like 48 hours. The New Yorkers just came together. It started with I was just going down there. I'm going to bring manpower down, give a week of work. And everybody was like, you have to bring this. You have to bring blankets, clothes, food. And just watching New Yorkers get active again. It wasn't just Sandy. It wasn't just a pandemic. It's in North Carolina, many states away, and they showed up again, guys. We had so much, and I couldn't fit it in my car. So Kevin of New York Freedom Rally said you should do a donation for the truck, and we got the money for the truck within 12 hours, and here we are. So this is just God leading us, man, and we are here. We are currently in a town called Frank, North Carolina, working with the local people here, a local firehouse who has, there's no organizations here, there's no FEMA here, it's local firehouse working with the local people of North Carolina.
How long did you have to drive from New York to get to North Carolina, Mighty?
About 10 hours. It was a nice 11 hour drive.
Have you seen a lot of damage?
Yeah, so this is a town, like everybody hears Asheville, they hear Boone, but this was a very, very small town. And when we got to this area, it looked like an earthquake. It didn't even look like a hurricane. I've been in some areas with hurricanes, and the streets are gone, right? The streets are gone. People are coming in, they're looting. There was an old lady, I kid you not, my son will tell you, old lady with her strap while she's cleaning her house, and no water, like. We're talking about this is a very rural area for this to happen to this place.
Can you flick the camera? Just I know you're not maybe in a crazy area, but at least to show us a little bit kind of what you're seeing.
No problem.
You're by the firehouse,
no problem.
And
yeah, so let me just open that up for you. All right, so there's not really much to show here because I'm at the firehouse, but I will show you.
It's a very rural area, very rural.
Yeah, there's the mountain that we're talking about, but like this road right here, down that road, bro. If you just go down less than a mile. There's road missing. There's literal road missing, bro. I'll get you pictures and stuff, but it's terrible, bro. It's honestly terrible. The locals are saying they don't want no federal government coming in. They can handle it, and their spirits are high. That's the most beautiful thing that my son and I noticed. It's like their spirits are high. These are people. These are God's people. Like we're gonna make it through. It's bad. We lost friends, but we're gonna make it through.
Mighty, what makes a New Yorker go to North Carolina, a New Yorker from a blue state, going to help the red people in North Carolina? Why did you disrupt your life? Take your son and this group of wonderful people known as We the People. Tell us a little bit about We the People and why would a New Yorker care about North Carolina, Mighty?
I can speak for my son and myself when it comes to why it's the Holy Spirit, it's God telling us that we have to love thy neighbor and be there for our neighbor. And I feel like most people in New York feel that way too. When the pandemic happened, as you know, Bek, you were right there with us. Like people got active. We had to do something, and it didn't matter. And even though our neighbors felt a different way, we got active. It's the same thing. Maybe they can't get to North Carolina, but we got to do something. And for me, it's like that can happen in New York. This could be New York, and I would hope that people would have it in their heart in Jersey or Pennsylvania or Connecticut to come help Beck or help myself. So I look at it like it just didn't happen. Glory to God, it didn't happen to us, but we should be there for those that it did happen
But
to.
it did.
And
It
now
did,
we're
Mighty.
dealing with.
It did happen to us in a different way. I was underneath the World Trade Center when it got hit. And I remember the aftermath after 9/11. We had firefighters from all over the country come to New York City and try to help in the digging. You had people leave their posts in New Jersey, all over the country, California. They sent people and firefighters and personnel and people pouring in their support and their love. And that spirit after 9/11 was one of my, as horrible as that was, it was that moment where I really felt so connected to every American. And I love the fact that all the way up here in New York City, we don't have this problem going on, but we have New Yorkers going to North Carolina to say, hey, I'm an American just like you. I love you. And even if our government failed you, it was never about the government. It's about we the people. It's about us sticking together because we're the reason this country exists. We're the reason this country has made the advances it has over time. Maybe our past wasn't perfect, but we sure came a long way because it was because of people like you, because of people like me, because of people that are watching this show and follow you and collaborating together and coming through these dark times together. What can people do to help out there in North Carolina?
So, what do you mean with people out here or people from other states for North Carolina?
Whether it's through your organization or whoever, like what can we do to help, man? I mean, besides
Right.
bringing attention, because we all seen the headlines. The internet did a better job of covering what's really going on than obviously the mainstream media. They're trying to water it down. I mean, what have the locals been telling you? Like, is it as bad as they make it sound? Like, the feds didn't do what they should have done, and they felt like they were abandoned. And when we see all this money going out to all these foreign catastrophes and destruction and war, and you're giving our citizens a couple $100, you don't have any money for construction or reconstruction, but you got billions of dollars for destruction of other nations and other. So what can we do to help you and to maybe help the cause down there? I mean, what do they need down there, man? What do they need besides our prayers, besides people like you coming to let them know that, hey, you're not alone?
So that's a great question, and mainly right now, so many people have contributed. So they have like the water, they have the blankets, they have the clothes. They need specific things, and right now we're at one location. We're about to go to another location in Boone. We're gonna hit Asheville, and each place is gonna need different things. So all I would ask is if I get that list of what they need, maybe we start sharing it and getting it out, and people listen. My message is different than a lot of people, man. I feel like we don't need we don't need so much. We need people to get involved. We need everybody to grab a broom. That's my message. Like we're gonna clean this mess when we all play a small part in the big picture. If you're doing contracting, right? If I have 20 guys to build a house, I can build that house a lot quicker than if I have two guys. No matter how skilled the two guys are. We need more people getting active, and we shouldn't need a hurricane or a catastrophic event to do it. We should feel in our hearts that we're supposed to. That's what makes us humane. So my message is always just get active. If you feel compelled to do something, figure it out. Use your God-given talents and get involved. I can get the specific list for the different places, and if someone feels inclined to help them, send something to them, or even do what I did. I started with nothing. This is literal. We the people getting together, pooling money, and coming down here, and it was a team effort, and it was beautiful.
I'm going to put those details on these episodes. So if people want to click, follow, get in touch with you, I vouch for this guy. For those of you that love me, if you want to cash app him, whatever it is, nothing can be too much for our fellow Americans. We're in this together. I love our country. I've been to North Carolina. I have family in North Carolina. How far are you from a major city?
So we're about 20 minutes out of Boone.
We're about 20 minutes from Boone.
We're 20 minutes from Boone.
Okay.
Um,
I don't know where that is,
and
but
an hour from Asheville.
hour from Asheville.
So yeah.
What do you think
So
about this?
we're running the mountain line. We're running the
Well,
mountain line.
with what you're already learning about in North Carolina, do you feel like the people in Tampa are in serious trouble? Forget that the storm is going to be catastrophic, but the way they've responded down there, we know that the people of Tampa and that whole region of Florida are going to need help. It's even more scary, isn't it? I mean, you there being on the ground, would you not agree that what you're witnessing there, it's like we have another monster on our shores? And
Yeah, bro.
has that crossed your mind at all? Is anybody talking about it?
I mean, dude, listen. It's the main thing is this: like they're trying to clean up what's going on here, but everybody's listening to what you're listening to. I can hear it in your voice, and you're very concerned for our brothers and sisters in Florida, brother. You have a big heart like me. We talk personally many times already. Like, Florida has already got hit. Tampa specifically already got hit. So they have a lot to be concerned about. They're taking evacuation very seriously, man. A lot of people are calling me saying I'm thinking about leaving.
You got to.
They
You have to. It's not worth your life. I called all my friends
Yeah.
down there. I said, please don't be brave. It's always better to be safe than sorry. My last thing is, I know you got to rush and the firefighters are waiting for you. My last question is, this organization that you've built in New York, I know we covered it, I think, on yours, but I want to cover it kind of on mine. You have like basically a community safety group, basically a bunch of New Yorkers that have come together to stick together to make sure repressive laws and rules are not passed that violate constitutional rights, not just for New Yorkers, but for all Americans. What is the name of this group that also your wife's a part, that all of us can kind of start paying attention and maybe join up with you in New York, New Jersey?
Awesome. Thank you, brother. The group is called the New York Dour, which is the state assembly.
New York
We the
Dour.
people, New York Dour. And we, the people, are the fourth arm of government. The reason why they're not upholding their oath of office is because we, the people, are not holding them to their oath of office. So what these groups do, and this is being done in other states as well, but it has to be done by the people, we, the people. So it's not an organization or a group like that. It's just we, the people, coming together, holding them to their oath of office. We currently have 6 New Yorkers with no lawyer. Currently have Mayor Eric Adams and Alvin Bragg in court for not upholding their oath of office during the mandates, that they had no lawful authority to make the mandates. So we currently have them in court now in the state Supreme Court.
Do you want to shout your son out? I'd like to thank him for going down there. It's up to him.
I don't think he could hear you, but
Currently cannot hear you.
His
but,
name, Mighty?
his name is Mikey.
Mike.
Mikey, how old are you, brother? How old are you,
Throw his
Mikey?
headphone and see if it connects. If it
You want to
does.
know how old you are?
25.
Most 25-year-old dudes these days are too busy playing Xbox or trying to go chase a chick. What made you want to go down there? What made you want to go down there with your dad? I can't hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. I wanted to see the change. I want to see people be active. Same thing my father said. Like, I hope that if a disaster struck in New York or it struck in Pennsylvania, that the surrounding areas are willing to help and do what they need to do as citizens, as Americans, to step up to the plate and do what has to be done. You don't have to be a hero. Just be active.
I want to thank you on behalf of New Yorkers for making us proud on heading down to North Carolina and helping our brothers down there and our sisters down there in the South. It's young men like you that give me hope that not all is lost in our country. I want to thank you. I want to thank your dad, your mom. I've been following you guys now for over 4 years, and I'm glad I get to meet you. And thank you so much, man. We really appreciate you on behalf of all the people across the country that have felt the pain that made you guys jump into action. So just stay safe out there. Keep us in the loop, and God bless you guys, man.
Of course, God bless you guys. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Mighty?
I'm gonna send it back over to Mighty Fuzz over here.
Mighty, I'm going to let you go because I know you're being held back right now. Those people need your help. I don't want to take too much of your time. Brother, keep me updated if anything crazy happens, and shoot me the info for that stuff in a text so I can include it in the episode, man. Take care of yourself. Please be safe out there, all right, brother? I love you, man.
I love you too, brother. Take care.
Take care of yourself. Ciao. So there you go, folks. That was my friend, Mighty Young. He drove down there. They're trying to help as many people as they can. This, to me, makes me happy. It makes me feel like there's still hope, that there's some feeling of we're all American. We're all in this together. We can disagree politically. Because I promise you, he's not down there asking them who you're voting for in a few weeks. He's down there asking them, are you okay? Do you need help? Is there something I can help you with? That's the most important thing. And regardless of what happens, we need to remember that always. That this is the United States of America. That Tennessee and Pennsylvania and Hawaii and New York and North Carolina and Florida, we are all brothers and sisters under the red, white, and blue. And if one of us is in pain, all of us are. It starts in our towns. It starts in our cities. It starts by holding the people that we've elected responsible for their negligence, for their misappropriation of funds, tracking them, watching C-SPAN more than we watch Netflix. And we can turn this ship around. We can turn this nation around. And I truly believe that. And it's stories like this, as sad as they are, seeing everyone lose their lives and their property. But the back end of that tragedy is it shows the resilience of the American spirit, that it's not gone, that not all is lost, that someone from New York will jump in their car and drive 10 hours to go help their brothers, sisters in North Carolina. And we're going to do the same in Tampa and Florida after this next storm, because as long as we stick together, there is no storm as Americans that we will not be able to weather. God bless all of you volunteers, the ones that we've never heard your names or don't even know who you are, to the helicopter pilots who took their own planes and their own fuel under threat of arrest. I salute you on behalf of all Americans. We thank you, and we pray for you and all of those in the eye of the storm that's coming in Florida and in the aftermath of the Helene catastrophe. This is Bek Lover, and you're listening to Interesting Times podcast right here on the Bek Lover podcast, where I bring you all the news, all the stories, things you should know. And sometimes we do a little journalism here, like we just did with a live shot right out of North Carolina. I want to thank you, and we'll be back with another podcast probably later today. Hit that sub button, and I'll see you soon on the Interesting Times podcast with Bek Lover.
Bek Lover.